Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, witnessing a new year is a blessing for which we should be grateful. I thank God, therefore, for the blessings of the year, which include the huge decline of COVID-19 cases globally, focusing more on economic recovery than the pandemic. My government began 2022 with renewed vigor and commitment to advancing our dear nation's development agenda. 12 months on, we are comfortably set to implement a sound 5-year recovery-focused national development plan, 2023-2027, and a longer-term vision, 2050, through a robust governance structure. To recollect, after my inauguration in January for an other 5-year term, 2022-2027, and the National Assembly elections that followed in April, I formed a cabinet with new profiles to lead the march towards building on the gains of our transition period and to break new grounds. The creation of 2 additional ministerial portfolios demonstrates our resolve and manifests our determination to move swiftly but professionally. Supported by the Access to Information Act, my government's commitment to democracy and respect for freedom of expression led to the retention of a separate ministry for information. It is obvious that we cannot develop in the absence of a capable human resource stock. As such, the government highly prioritizes education, skills development, and job creation to boost our human resource capabilities. Incidentally, the Faraba Banta University campus is ready for operation in 2023. Graduates from our various institutions will feed into the national employment policy goal of creating 150,000 jobs within the next 5 years. My government takes education, health, and agriculture with utmost seriousness. That 30% of the 2023 national budget is allocated to these sectors serves as evidence. Additionally, there is a sharp government focus on economic recovery, agricultural production, construction, and tourism to reduce global pressures on our economy. As a tax-based economy, we must create jobs and pay taxes willingly. Aided by new technology, we have improved tax collection and are determined to build on this success. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, lessons learned from the COVID-19 and Aki outbreaks have put us in a stronger position to strengthen our health system further. Meanwhile, the task force I set up is investigating the cause of the Aki outbreak and will submit its report in the new year. We will review the reports together with the recommendations from the National Assembly to inform government's decision on the matter. The outbreak was indeed tragic. We sympathize with all the families and persons affected and mourn the loss of those precious Gambians' children. I assure the nation that the government will do all it takes to discover what led to the tragedy and how to prevent its recurrence. The initiative we took to improve the health infrastructure is advancing smoothly. Besides the widespread construction works in progress, we plan to transform the Basse and Brikama health facilities into regional hospitals. Construction will begin in 2023. Inaugurated earlier this year, the ultra-modern medical disposal and treatment center at Farato is an other gigantic development of the year. Alongside this initiative, we will steadfastly build the capacity of the health personnel and improve their work conditions. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, high inflation continues to threaten our survival and growth. It negatively impacts on living costs globally and influences prices locally. Furthermore, the current high dependence on imported rice is neither productive nor sustainable. As a result, supporting farmers is another key government policy. Despite the difficulty of providing essential farming inputs, such as fertilizer, during the year, we made a subsidy of millions of dollars to avail farmers affordable quality fertilizer. To begin the trade season on a high note, my administration increased the price of groundnuts by 14%, $32,000 per ton from $28,000. Our farmers also receive improved seed varieties for higher yields. We listened to them during the recent Meet the People tour and will continue to address their plight. The global price increase of rice is an alert for Gambians to take up rice cultivation more seriously. Importing over 70% of the rice we eat is unsustainable. Formerly, Gambian farmers cultivated most of the rice consumed in the country. With modern technology, we can do far better. We have the land and the human resource. Thus, with private sector investments, we can transform farming into profitable business ventures. Against the threats of climate change, we have taken adaptive measures for resilience purposes. The floods in the Greater Banjul area remind us to urgently manage our environment, settlements, and waterways. I urge everyone to respect the building and land laws to reduce the risks posed by climate change. The program budget allocation to the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure indicates my government's preparedness to provide the needed infrastructure to ease movement and boost the economy. Fellow Gambians, in this short speech, I cannot mention all areas requiring attention, but be assured that we are taking a holistic development approach with better coordination arrangements to realize our national targets. In this light, we recently initiated an appraisal system for state-owned enterprises, which will eventually include all MDAs. I call on all those in public service to do their best for the nation. Fellow Gambians, affordable electricity supply for all is top on my government's agenda. The plan to decentralize and expand access in all areas, rural and urban, add in new settlements, is on course. Our security sector reform program has progressed in building the capacity of our security forces. The armed forces are being reoriented and motivated to enhance their role and responsibilities to assure maximum security in the country. For their part, all citizens should take responsibility to control crime, while crimes reported to the police dropped in 2022. With public cooperation, burglary and domestic violence and other crimes could be reduced further. Along similar lines, those in border communities that experience sporadic armed conflicts should collaborate with the security services to secure the country. Our territorial integrity must never be compromised. It is regrettable that a handful of soldiers recently planned to overthrow the democratically elected government of the day. The devastating consequences of illegally overthrowing a constitutionally elected government can never justify the means employed, nor the ill-advised purposes for such deadly crimes. Gambians have lived through a military regime, and they know that military takeovers have destabilized disunited and isolated countries within the sub-region that struggle to live with them. The Gambia is a multi-party democracy, and citizens can legally contest for public office if they wish to do so. Otherwise, amounts to treason and carries severe penalties. I thank and commend the Intelligence Service and the Gambia Armed Forces High Command for boldly and promptly taking action to foil the plot. They have demonstrated that if we are united and vigilant as patriotic citizens, we will safely defend our country and continue our development programs. These are times for national reconciliation and consolidation of our democratic institutions, and not time to revert to lawlessness, subversion, and unconstitutional tendencies. Because they are effective measures to ensure that justice prevails. All unlawful acts, mob justice inclusive, will not be tolerated. Wherever we may be, we must take charge to make our environment safe and maintain peace, law, and order. Fellow Gambians, at the international level, the Gambia is in the limelight again. Our partners appreciate the government's efforts to promote and protect democracy. To cite examples, we now head the ECOWAS Commission, and both the World Bank and the IMF approve of our fiscal discipline. The recent announcement at the US-Africa Summit by President Joseph Biden, according to Gambia, the Compact Millennium Development Challenge Grant is quite significant. Our ranking in the World Press Freedom Index for respecting freedom of expression and enacting the Access to Information Act continue to challenge us to strive harder. In like manner, we will continue to strengthen our foreign relations through diplomacy and people-to-people relations, thus encouraging investments. Fellow Gambians, our achievements in 2022 resulted partly from teamwork and collaboration from the legislature, the judiciary, the public institutions, the media, civil society organizations, and the public. To a large extent as well, our partners played their roles very well. I thank all of them and urge that we cooperate and work harder to bring about the change we desire without violence or conflict. In the same way, I appeal to all Gambians in the diaspora to continue contributing to the advancement of their motherland. I encourage them to invest in growing the economy and safeguarding our democracy peacefully. Remittances contribute to economic growth, so let no one relent. I thank our religious and community leaders for standing by the teachings of our religions to guide the people. The African Ulama and Ministers of Religious Affairs Conference we hosted signifies international recognition of our beloved nation. Please keep up the good work. I cannot fail to reiterate to all political leaders and supporters that our love for the country should never be questioned, regardless of our diverse opinions. We have a nation to build, and doing so requires unity, commitment, determination, and professionalism. We have to strive in unity to maintain the Gambia as the smiling coast of Africa. As we enter 2023, we are better prepared to move the Gambia to higher heights. Let us do so together. I wish you all a very happy and prosperous 2023. Long live the Republic of the Gambia. Thank you.